is one of the most used language. But why? Because of its flexibility, wide range of variety, and beginner friendliness. The companies are currently using Python like Google, Ola, Uber, Facebook because of its flexibility. Again, right? So in this particular video, we are going to talk about the common mistakes in Python and how can you start your journey with Python. Great Learning has came up with the idea of Great Learning Academy where you will get almost 80 plus free courses, and after complete your course you can claim your certificate as well. But what are those 80 plus courses? If you come down, you can see there are lots of domains we have. We have the most trending domains like data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, IT software, cloud computing, and so on. And if you click on this domain, you can see lots of courses we have over there. And these courses are designed by the prestigious universities and the professors. And if you do these courses are for free. And if you actually enroll for these courses, you will get the free certificate as well as free content, which will really help you to understand this particular topic and also skill up yourself. And if you also look at the machine learning part, you will get lots of machine learning courses. Same goes for all the domain we have. Then why are you waiting? Then please go and enroll for these courses, and please do let us know what you feel about these particular courses. But before start the video, don't forget to subscribe Great Learning and do hit like this particular video, and also let us know in the comment section what else you want to learn from us. So let's get started with the video. In this particular video, we are going to talk about the common mistakes in Python. If you have just started your career in Python, or if you have just started your journey with Python, there are few mistakes you will encounter. So we will guide you how actually you can avoid those mistakes in your journey with Python. So let's have a look at the agenda. What are the things we are going to cover for this particular video? So first, we are going to talk about what is Python. What are the basic things you need to know about Python? Then we will jump into what are the benefits you will get in Python. And then we will have a detailed discussion on common mistakes in Python as well. So let's get started with what is Python. As we all know, Python is a programming language, but there are few things you need to remember when we talk about Python. Python is high-level, object-oriented, and interpreted language. Now, why I'm saying Python is high-level? Because if you know English, how to write an English sentence, you can start learning Python. Yes, Python is that easy to start with. Then comes object-oriented. This is a particular property a language has. So there is Java and Python. There are lots of other languages also there. They have object-oriented feature, right? So basically object-oriented, if the particular language is object-oriented, there are lots of features you will get. And then it comes interpreted. Yes, when you start working with Python, you don't need to talk about or you don't need to think about the low-level language. Right? So yeah, this is the basic key point and main key point about Python. Now we will jump into what are the benefits you will get if you start your journey with Python. Maybe you are from a web development background. Maybe you are from a data science background. You can start using Python. I will give you the reason why Python is becoming popular for all the domain. Let's start with web development. Suppose you are a full stack developer and you want to make your first web page using Python. Yes, web development using Python is very easy. So there is, frameworks we have like Django and Flux. They're actually going to make your life easy, right? Then comes length of the program. Let me give you a small example of length of program. Suppose you are going to write a very basic program of Hello World. You just need to print Hello World. But if you just need to write this particular program in C, C++, or Java, like the other language, minimum you have to write 2-3 lines of code. But when you compare to Python, you just need to write 1 line of code. You can understand the length of program is really short. Because when we talk about any programmer, the first things comes into our mind that programmers should handle thousands lines of code. Yes, they do. But when it comes to Python, compared to other language, the length of the program is really less. Now, if we talk about the simplicity, the main thing about Python, it is very simple. If you are not from a computer science background, if you never had done any programming language, then also you can learn Python because Python is that easy. It's just like a normal English. And the main thing about Python, you just don't need to go for lots of syntaxes, right? You have to just maintain the indentation in Python. Then comes mathematical computation. As we have talked about, if you are from statistical background, if you want to be a data scientist or a data analyst, you need to do some of the mathematical and statistical computation. Doing mathematical and statistical computation using Python is really easy for the libraries we have in Python. Then the graphical user interface. If you want to make a GUI and if you have your own game and you just need to make you just need to put some good GUI for your game, Python is the choice for you. So these are the benefits we have in Python. Now we are going to talk about the common mistakes in Python. Let's start one by one. First, if we talk about error handling. What is error handling? For errors in Python, there is a very specific part which is known as traceback. And suppose you have indentation error. As we have talked about, Python don't have any syntaxes, but Python does have indentation. If you make a false indentation, you will get an error. Now, if we talk about forgot parenthesis, if you forgot to put the parenthesis in your program, again the Python will give you the error, right? And this will occur syntax error for the program. But what is the main reason behind this error? The main reason behind this error, in this situation, Python does not understand how to read the program, what you have written. So for that, it will become an error for Python. Right? Now, if we talk about incorrect indentation, right? So I will show you the demo as well, what actually I want to mean by incorrect indentation. So indentation is very important part in Python, right? So if you just forget to put indentation, if you put an incorrect indentation, you will get the same error as well, right? And in this case, basically for Python, it means a lot to Python rather than making your code look clean. For other languages, it's basically indentation is used for making your code look clean. But in the case of Python, basically it's the syntax for Python, right? The main thing about Python, you have to maintain the indentation properly. Otherwise, it will not get executed your code, right? It is needed for indicating what block of code a statement belongs to, and also many characteristics depends on this indentation. So let's have a look at the demo for this particular thing. So we are going to use Google Colab to do the Python programming. If you don't know what is Google Colab, then please do check out our Google Colab tutorial. It will always give you a good heads up on Google Colab, right? So let's get started with the few demo on Python to make you understand what are the incorrect indentation we are going to talk about. So basically, as we can see what we are going to do, the Google Colab, right? So if you just write Google Colab in your, website, just write Google Colab, right? What it will basically show you, it is basically going to give you this link and you have to click on this link, right? And this is provided by Google for AI researcher. And if you really want to know about more Google Colab, then please do check out our Google Colab tutorial. Right? So this is how I have started writing the code on Google Colab. So when we talk about the incorrect indentation, what actually I want to mean by that? Suppose you are going to use a for loop. That time you have to maintain an indentation. Suppose I'm going to write var equals to 10. Your first variable equals to 10. Now what I'm going to write? I'm going to write for I in range, right? And you have given this var particular variable. Now, if you just put this and then if you just put enter, can you see your cursor come to this particular position? Why? Because this is after that you have to maintain this indentation for Python. Now, if you just write print I, right? What is going to print? It's going to print 0 to 9. Suppose you have written one more code. Right? For in this case, for you have written I in Python. Sorry, you have written I in range of var, and you are going to use this, but you just change the indentation, you have written print I, right? Can you see what I have got? The error, indentation error, expected and indented block, right? So yes, you have to maintain when we talk about any indentation error in Python, there is a real serious case and you have to take care of that. Otherwise, it will not compile your code, right? So as we have talked about the parenthesis, if I can show you, if you just forgot to put a parenthesis, what will happen? Suppose you have written for I in range var and print I, you have started the bracket, but you did not complete it. Suppose if I just execute it again, can you see syntax error? Right? So these are the basic things you have to take care when you have you have started working on Python. Right? So let's go back to the presentation and let's have a look at what are the common mistakes you can actually encounter when you have start your journey with Python. Now there comes to mutable object. What is mutable object in Python? Basically, Python has two types of object. One is mutable object and mutable objects can be changed during runtime. I will show you what actually I want to mean by mutable object. Then one type of object is immutable object and immutable objects cannot be changed during runtime. I will give you a demo on what is mutable and what is immutable object in Python. As when we are actually talking about immutable object, we all know tuple is an immutable object for Python. So what actually I want to mean by immutable object? You can see I have taken a demo, tuple1 demo, right? Now I have declared a tuple over here where I have given the number of 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? So now what I want to do, I want to assign one more. After I have actually done this, I just want to assign one more number to this particular tuple. Right? Let me just do that. And again, suppose I am going to write tuple1 demo equals to 4. I want to add one more new member to my tuple. In this case, what I will get an error. What error I am getting? Tuple. Okay. Okay, okay, right. So here you can see I have actually written that tuple1 demo is equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So in this particular case, what you can see now, again, I'm going to write tuple1 demo of 0 equals to, I want to put 5. Can you see what actually error I got? It's showing tuple object does not support an item assignment. Why it's happening? Because the thing is basically when you have an immutable object, after you initialize that object, if you want to reassign something to that particular object, it will not actually allow you on that. Right? So you can see tuple object does not support item assignment because it's an immutable object. Right? Let me give you one more example. Suppose you have written one particular variable called demo, and here you have written welcome to great learning. What is it? It's basically nothing but string, right? So in this case, let me just execute it. So now if I just going to print demo, what it's going to give me? It's going to give me welcome to great learning. So now I just want to change this particular thing, right? What I want to add, I just want to add a over here, right? The reassignment. So in this case, again, I'm going to get an error that is string object does not support item assignment. Why? Can you see the both of the cases, the error is almost same, but just the object is different, right? One is string, one is tuple. Yes, because they are immutable object in Python, right? Suppose when we are talking about mutable object, right? So suppose you have used a variable and you want to change the variable, you can do that. But there are few immutable objects you have in Python that you cannot change. So always remember that when you are going to use an immutable object, after you assign that, you cannot change it. Right? So again, let's go back to the presentation and let's have a look at the next error, what the most common error you can encounter as a newbie. Then there is a copy problem. What is a copy problem? Suppose you have a to list. So two lists, what are the two lists you have? Suppose you have A equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Now you have written A equals to B. So B is a copied list from A. Right? So obviously you can see if I just write A equals to B, then B will be a copy of A. Now if you change something, right? As you have copied B list from A, so if you made any changes to A or B, it will reflect the both, right? So always remember, if you copied something from, suppose you have a list of A and you have copied A to B. So you have changed something to A, it will reflect A and B both, right? So this is something you have to remember when we talk about the copy problem in Python. Then last but not the least, we will talk about Python scope problem. Yes, it's a big problem, guys, right? What is Python scope problem? Python scope is based on eligible rule. What is eligible rule? Eligible rule is basically if you actually break it, you will get local enclosing global built-in rule. So let me give you an example and let me show you how this actually going to work. So you can see here I'm going to write var equals to take one particular variable I have actually shown you over here and I have declared var equals to 10. Now I'm going to write a function. The function, when we are going to write a function, we use a base keyword before actually you have going to use any function or declare any function. Suppose I'm going to write ABC, right? So here, as I have written ABC, now what I'm going to say, var equals to var plus 1. Right? Then return var. Right? Can you see? Okay, I am getting an error. Right. Can you see what I have done? I have written def ABC and I have written var equals to var plus 1, return var. Now if I just call to ABC, can you see what I have given? What error I have got? I got local variable var referenced before assignment, right? So basically you have to understand the scope. Okay, so there is a big problem in Python when we actually talk about scope problem. So you have to understand what is the scope of your variable before using it, right? So yeah, this is pretty much about the basics of, what are the common mistakes you can actually encounter as a newbie to Python. If you want to learn more about Python, then please do check out Great Learning Academy, where you will get again 80 plus free courses. And if you complete your course, you can claim your certificate as well. And if you want to do these courses in your mobile application, that is also possible using Great Learning app. And again, if you are someone who is actually very comfortable in Hindi, we do have lots of courses in Hindi, and we do have courses, lots of training courses and a domain like artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and also we have courses on IT companies and basics aptitudes as well. Why don't you go and check it out, Great Learning Academy? And also do not forget to subscribe Great Learning. And if you really feel this video is going to help you out to your journey with Python, then please do like this video and also share with your friends. And also please do let us know in the comment section what are the new things you want to learn from us. Thank you so much.